Every negative Backrooms level has been removed. The Brugli entity is now officially canon, and we have some new casting information on the Backrooms movie. Let's talk about all that. Hello everybody, today in this video, I will be discussing a ton of updates in the Backrooms community and fandom and all that stuff. Specifically, 3 pretty big updates in the Backrooms genre as a whole. I think I want to make it kind of a monthly thing where I talk about the newest updates and newest levels and changes to the fandom and everything like that. And I want to upload a little video like this every single month, like Brugli's breaking news or something. Wow, that's lame sounding. And boy, oh boy, do I have some big and controversial updates for this video today. If you enjoy this style of video and you want to see me do more parts to this and more breaking Brugli news episodes, leave a like. That way I know it, and that way the algorithm knows it as well. Comment below other things I should talk about on here. But let's get into the first update story of the video, and I want to talk about a new canonized entity that has been added to the fandom lore. That's right, the Brugli entity has officially been canonized in the Backrooms lore and is on the official real level 1 page. Wow. Not clickbait, not a joke. That's the first thing I want to talk about today. If you haven't seen the new and revised Backrooms level 1 page over on the fandom, it's pretty much just an updated version, kind of like a more streamlined, better fleshed out level 1. And in that page, the author actually canonizes the Brugli entity by having the stand-in for the author run into the Brugli entity while on that level. The Wanderer then goes on to describe me, which is the entity, this 5-eyed creature, and it has this little cute little sketch of Brugli. I think this is super cool that I've been officially put into the canon, kind of like a wild reality in my opinion. I've been making videos in the Backrooms for 5 years. That's a long time, that's half a decade, and it's really cool to be put into the lore, the official lore on the fandom. So I just want to thank you all so much for getting me here. Thank you so much to the author, VerySpecific, and thank you to all the amazing fans and Brugli viewers that have watched me and supported me over these years. Obviously, the Backrooms isn't as big as it once was, and the trend is kind of dying, and it's been that way for a couple years, but I'm still here making videos. You are still here watching them, which I really appreciate. I feel like I'm kind of keeping the Backrooms content alive and the fan base alive in a certain way, and I'm trying to. That's my goal. And I really want to thank you all so much for getting me here. And when I grow old and I have grandkids, they're going to ask me, Papa Brugli, what did you do with your life? And I'm going to say I am in a canon of an old creepypasta. Nice! So again, it's pretty cool to be immortalized into the lore, especially since the first video I ever did was on a fandom level 1008, way back in the day. And I really just like this little Brugli sketch they made. It's pretty cool. So that's the first update. I'm canon in the Backrooms lore now. Suck it, all the haters. Next big update I want to discuss today is a much more controversial, a much more spicy, you could say, change to everything. And that is the removal of negative Backrooms levels on the fandom. All of the negative levels have been wiped away. Those numbers are gone, and the levels that were in their place, like -1, 2, 3, and so on, they're now in the positive levels. They've been renumbered. But the negative level system, it no longer exists. It's not real. So let's see what's going on with that. Back on May 25th, 2025 of this year, so just like a month or two ago, Egglord posted an announcement over on the fandom Discord server, kind of announcing a few changes that were going to happen to the fandom. These are pretty usual, pretty normal. These kind of updates happen randomly. It talked about solidifying like a main canon line. It talked about cleaning up the pages and getting rid of inconsistencies in the lore. But then there on one of the lower bullet points read this: move negative level pages to positive. The numbering system is already arbitrary, so having negative ones makes even less sense. We cannot come up with a good reason for them to exist, other than they have existed for a while. Special negative pages, like level -1000, will be individually discussed on a case-by-case basis. So right there, as you can see, they're getting rid, and they got rid already, of those negative levels, and they've decided that there's no point in negative levels, the concept of them existing. Which, unfortunately, in my opinion, I don't really agree with that. I think negative levels deserve a spot in the canon. I think they add this strange infinity, this fleshed out version of the Backrooms, right? Because the further you go negative, the more distorted, the more uncanny, the more strange, you could say, that those levels get. And negative levels were known, and they had a connotation of being kind of just way wackier, kind of out there. And that's good. That's what you need in the Backrooms. That's what you need in this kind of thing. The Backrooms is not supposed to be grounded in reality. In fact, it's the exact opposite, right? The entire point of the Backrooms is to not be in reality. It's gonna be this wild, wacky, glitchy place. That's pretty much what levels that were negative were. While I agree that it's not a huge, massively important thing, I don't agree that they weren't cool. I think they were awesome, and while the levels aren't gone, they're still there, they're just now newly numbered, I still think it's kind of sucks to not have those negative levels. There were some cool numbers, and there was some cool lore, how the negative and positive levels played with each other. Like I said, the levels still exist, so it's not like they're getting rid of them, but I really did enjoy having those negative levels. I always liked reading through them. I found them to be actually my favorite ones. -3 was one of my favorite ones for a long time. If you want to see explanations of all those old levels that were negative, I do have videos from like 3 or 4 years ago about them, so you can watch them there. But as of right now, there are no more negative Backrooms levels on the fandom. They're gone. They've been moved to positive numbers. Let me know what you think about that in the description below. I'm really torn, but I'm leaning on the side of it's not a good decision. That's my opinion. Don't kill me, please. And the final segment for the initial installment of breaking Brugly news, Brugly BBN, I don't know, I think that's already been taken, is that we have a couple new castings for the Backrooms movie, which is supposed to be coming out. A few weeks ago, I made a video about 2 big castings. The first ones we got, that did pretty well. You've seen this actress and this actor. I talked about all that in the last video. But since then, there's been a few more people that have been put in the movie. And again, these are some surprisingly big names. Mark Duplass, Avon Jogia, Lukita Maxwell, and Renate Rez... Sorry to Renate. She's Norwegian. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. But you might not recognize those names right off the bat if you're not good with names or if you're just stupid. But this Mark guy, he was in Creep, which was a fantastic movie series. Very, very disturbing. Played a great character in that. He was kind of the villain, and he did it really well. And then, of course, this guy was Beck from Victorious, which I'm sure many of you watched. That was my go-to as a kid. Victorious, Drake and Josh, Zoe 101, that kind of era. Beck was on there. This actor that played Beck is going to be in the Backrooms. It's kind of wild, actually. And Finn Bennett, he's been in a lot of things recently. He also recently just got announced to be in A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, which is a Game of Thrones prequel series from the Dunk and Egg novels that George R. R. Martin wrote. I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, a huge A Song of Ice and Fire fan. So when Finn Bennett was cast in that show, it wasn't long after that he was also cast in the Backrooms movie. So good for you, Finn. Still no invite from me. Sad. Lukita Maxwell has been in tons of TV shows and movies as well, and the Norwegian actress that I cannot pronounce her name, she's up and coming apparently. I haven't really seen anything with her in it, but she's pretty good as far as I can tell from our IMDb page. But all those people have officially now been cast in the movie alongside the original 2 castings, which are the main lead characters. And I gotta say, this is a pretty star-studded cast. I have high hopes for this. These people are great in what they do. I've seen several of them in different things, and they were phenomenal. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we get a creepypasta movie that isn't dogged. But I'm especially excited for this Mark Duplass guy. He's a fantastic actor. He played this creepy guy really well in Creep. Creepy guy in Creep. What a great script you have, Jared. What a phenomenal writer you are. He also played in The Good American Family, which blew up last year, if you remember that. But it'll be very interesting to see how all of these actors and actresses bounce off each other, the script, the design, the way they're going. It's gonna be very interesting. Also, if this video right here gets 10,000 likes, I will wear the full Backrooms outfit that I wore my 500K special to the opening night of the Backrooms movie. Please do not get 10,000 likes. With that, so ends the inaugural episode of Brugly's Breaking News, BBN for short. I gotta come up with a better name. That is trash. If you like this format and me kind of going over updates in the community and that sort of thing, please do leave a like. That way I know, that way the algorithm knows that you don't hate me. And I want to do more of this. It was fun to do, fun to look into, and I could go over other new things like new levels, new canons, that kind of stuff. This could be the format for that. If you enjoy, please tell me. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you all for your amazing continued support over these years. Like I said, even though it's not as popular as it once was, I'm making some changes here on Brugly to diversify content even more, to hopefully grow and expand to new viewers, and try to keep the Backrooms alive, also while dabbling into other niches and things. So hopefully you stick around for that. Thank you all so much for watching. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. With all that said, I'll see you in the next video on any one of my channels, which you should check out in the description below.